Alright, so the next one we'll be reacting to, and also, just so you know, if the video seems a bit quieter, that's because I changed the volume settings a bit so you could hear me talking better. Anyway, so the next one I am going to react to is going to be another one that has to do with India, which is this one. India wants Portugal to go away. Now, that title itself is a pun. And before I start the video here, context. So basically, Portugal is known for having an empire. Portugal is known for liking spices. Portugal is known for conquering places to get those spices. Now, most people know that the spices came from India and Southeast Asia. Well, yeah, Portugal got some stuff from India. Actually, they used to have more, but then, Britain came in and took some stuff because Britain and Portugal liked each other, and they still like each other. Then Portugal just gave Britain some stuff in return for Britain not going to war with them and still protecting them against Spain and stuff. Anyway, Portugal had a colony which was Goa, which was called Goa. And basically, when Britain left India in 1947, which was when the British Raj kind of went bye-bye, and then India and Pakistan became independent. When that happened in 1947, the newly independent India wanted to get control of Goa because, well, I mean, it was on Indian land. India claimed it, so the Indians were the people who lived there. I mean, of course, there were some Portuguese people, but it was definitely majority Indians. So they wanted it. But Portugal decided to not give it to them, and then India was like, well, if you're not going to give it to us, then we might as well just invade you. So they invaded Goa, and they destroyed Portugal's forces there, because Portugal had barely any forces there, and because it was a small overseas territory that they saw as insignificant versus a fully fledged country, which had the second largest population in the world. It still has the second largest population in the world. Anyway, so I think I had the second largest population in the world at the time. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. I'm not still guessing myself. Anyway, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Anyway, let's go to the video.
Oh, just another day in paradise. Oh, it's India! Oi, Goa! I'm here to decolonize you. Goa isn't a colony. It's part of a metropolitan Portugal.
Okay. So what Portugal just said, that Goa is part of metropolitan Portugal. Now, for those of you who don't know what the difference between metropolitan and colony and overseas and all that stuff, basically metropolitan means the mainland area of France. Okay, my brain is dead right now, so. Alright, forgive me. I meant to say the mainland area of a country. I was going to use France as an example. Sorry for that. Also, I leave in most of my mistakes and blunders, and bloopers. So I don't edit them out, so yeah, you're definitely going to be seeing that in the video. Alright, anyway, what I was saying was that the metropolitan area of a country is basically the main area of a country. Colonies are basically areas where people who live there aren't citizens of the country that controls it and can't vote, and then overseas territories are just a more fancy name for things that are mostly integrated but aren't metropolitan. So the reason I was going to use France as an example is because France has a history of integrating a lot of their colonies. So metropolitan France, I mean, most of us know that it's the France we know from Europe, plus Corsica, obviously. But then, and I mean, yeah, there are people who know this, but some people don't. France has a ton of land that isn't in Europe. Let's see. So they got islands in the Caribbean. They got French Guinea. Not French Guinea. Sorry. French Guyana. Okay. I am like actually really tired right now, so sorry about that. Anyway, they have French Guyana, they got like New Caledonia, they have Tahiti, French Polynesia, which that's Tahiti, right? They have a ton of stuff. Oh yeah, then they have those like that island off the like Newfoundland, I think. Yeah, they have that thing too. And that stuff are basically overseas territories, overseas departments of France. Those people, the people that are citizens of France, they can, for the most part, are citizens of France, can vote in French elections. Again, for the most part. And, yeah. But, and also France doesn't have any more colonies. Most countries don't have any more areas that aren't metropolitan, that aren't, like, mostly integrated into their country anyway. But, when France did have colonies, like, in Africa, basically people there, they weren't citizens, they couldn't vote in French elections. That was basically it. They were colonies, so they were just subjects of France. They didn't have any say in what was going on. So, yeah, that's basically what it is. So Portugal is basically saying that Goa is an integrated part of Portugal, and not a colony. So, yeah. Anyway, I probably just like bored everyone who's watching this to death by that, but let's continue.
Am I right? If you don't give it back, I'll just do an economic blockade. Ha! It'll take more than that, but everyone knows you don't like violence. So as long as we don't give you an excuse. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but one of our boats fired at an Indian fishing boat. There's one casualty. Goa, I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah. That's what happened. So yeah, India didn't want to actually invade in the first place because, well, they kind of didn't want to look bad. They didn't want to look bad and be like, and stuff. So yeah, they just did an economic blockade, and then Portugal made a bit of a blunder and fired at an Indian fishing vessel. I'm not sure if they killed or injured the one person, but they either killed or injured them, and India did not like that. But generally, it's not a good thing when your citizens are being injured or killed by another country. That's generally not a good thing. That generally is a reason to go to war. So yeah, and like I said before, India was way more ready for this war than Portugal, and so Portugal quickly conceded. Goa became Indian, and there you have the modern flag of Goa, which is better than the just Portugal flag with a coat of arms on it. Colonial flags generally were horrible. They were generally horrible. Anyway, let's go back, and I think I might do two more, since these are fairly short. I'm actually going to do I'm going to do these two Soviet Union ones. Firstly, the USSR becomes Uncanny, and secondly, Nazis invade Russia. Now this one's 8 minutes. It is a long one. It's an actual video and not just a short, but yeah. Anyway, USSR becomes Uncanny. Okay, so I'm sure everyone's heard of the Mr. Incredible, Uncanny, Canny memes. I mean, if you haven't, then you are very, very much living in the past. But, yes. So, that's supposed to be Lenin, in case you couldn't tell. But yeah, USSR was formed in 1922. I forgot what month. Oh, crap. I forgot, like, the exact date. I actually have to look that up. Thankfully, I always have my phone with me, so I'm just looking up one real quick. When was... Also, if you know it, then comment that you know it while I'm searching this on my phone. Okay, December 30th, 1922. Nice. Alright. I love how the headline. I love how the first thing that popped up was the History Channel's website. the first sentence is a 1922 treaty between Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus and Transcaucasia formed the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. I put the treaty part in parentheses. I mean, all those Transcaucasia doesn't exist anymore, but sadly. Man, I think they should really bring that back. Anyway, but all those nations knew they'd be obliterated by Russia if they refused, or at least at the time they'd be obliterated Russia. Clearly, Ukraine has shown that Russia's not good at obliterating countries anymore. But back in 1922, 100 years ago, those countries would have been obliterated by Russia had they refused to join the Union and sign the, again, quote-unquote treaty. But yeah, and also Ukraine and Belarus were pretty much already communist countries by that point anyway, so yeah, they kind of were already pretty aligned with Russia anyway at the time. So Transcaucasia just had issues. They weren't even communists, they just had issues. Anyway, let's actually start the video. Sorry about how much talking I'm doing, okay? Sorry. Alright, so USSR is, Red Terror. Okay. Yes. There's Stalin. Okay. Okay, yes, they did remove Lenin's brain. Slightly gross, but yes, 1924, Lenin died. He had a ton of strokes. He had 2 strokes over the course of 6 months? 2 strokes or 6 or 8 months? Something like that. Yeah. And he somehow survived those. He got medical care and everything. He was actually recovering and then he just died. Pretty much. And by the time he was nearly dead, he hated Stalin. Actually, not a whole ton of people know that. At least from what I have, from people I've come across, I know none of them know that. But yeah, Lenin. By the time Lenin was nearly dead, he hated Stalin. Because Stalin had been given the position of general secretary, and he had made it an extremely powerful position. Just go watch the oversimplified videos on the Russian Revolution. Yes, I watch oversimplified. Go watch those. You'll figure out what I mean by he became extremely powerful, and how he did that and everything. But, long story short, basically, yeah, he became powerful, and then when Lenin died, he took control, exiled Trotsky. Eventually, he had Trotsky killed, but I'm sure you'll know who Trotsky is. Anyway, people like to make a ton of memes about Trotsky, and also Stalin. But anyway, back to the video. Sorry about that. Yes. Cult of personality. Okay. Yeah, so Khrushchev didn't actually become leader until 1955. So 53 was the year Stalin died. He died in March of 1953. Was it March 6th that he died? I don't know why I know that date, but I don't know why I know that, but I do. Or maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure, but I know it was March. Anyway, so basically, Stalin had created so much of a cult of personality that no one dared oppose him. So when he died, there was a massive power struggle, because no one had enough power to take control of the country immediately. The new general secretary was Georgy Malenkov. I think I pronounced his first name correctly. So the the new general secretary after Stalin died was Georgy Malenkov, and he basically tried to take control, but there were pretty much two other people who were attempting to take control. Nikita Khrushchev, who eventually would take control, like I said, in 1955, and Lavrenti okay. Lavrenti Beria, right? That's the correct guy, I think. Yes, it was Beria, right? Yeah, it was Beria. Sorry, I have to look it up. Yes, it was Beria. Yeah, so basically what happened was that Khrushchev was opposed by Malenkov and Beria, who basically had become political allies. Beria was in charge of the NKVD. However, Khrushchev had Georgy Zhukov, who was in charge of the Red Army, the entire Soviet army, which was massive. It was the largest army in the world at the time, and it was extremely powerful. So, yeah, he could have easily overthrown Beria, but that wasn't be needed because Beria was eventually just captured. Malenkov cut ties with him, and basically he was executed for issues I'm not going to get into. He was accused of being a traitor, though. That's the one issue I will mention. The other ones I'm not going to mention for reasons. Anyway, so basically, yeah. And then Khrushchev took total control in 55, as a general secretary. Eventually, he actually fired Zhukov, which, yeah, Zhukov didn't like that. And then, yeah. Obviously, Khrushchev is famous for the Berlin Wall and Cuban Missile Crisis. Those are the two things he's famous for. He's also famous for being deposed by the next guy, who would be... Yes, Brezhnev. Yes, his face was very, very wrinkly. Yeah, he was deposed by Brezhnev in a bloodless coup. He was just allowed to basically retire. He just retired to Ukraine, which is where he had family roots and stuff. And he just basically just lived out his days in Ukraine. Yeah. Oh, and there's also, I forgot to mention the other two things Khrushchev was famous for. Apart from the Berlin Wall and Cuban Missile Crisis, he was also famous for, obviously, de-Stalinization, which is, renaming Stalingrad to Volgograd, getting rid of statues of Stalin, and basically saying you're going to allow greater freedom, but not actually allowing greater freedom. Yeah. And also brutally crushing any opposition in the Eastern Bloc. And then the fourth thing he was famous for was, which is not as obvious not as well known as some of the other things he was famous for, is he decided to give Crimea to the Ukrainian SSR, Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, and take it from the Russian Soviet Socialist Republic, because Ukraine was where he had ties, and Ukraine was his native homeland, and yeah. So I mean, you could blame the modern problems between Ukraine and Russia on Khrushchev, but they stem from way before Khrushchev was even alive. So don't completely blame on him. Blame it partly on him, though. Anyway, Brezhnev. Yeah. Okay. I think it'll get to where he messed up. Okay. If you can't see the whole thing, because of the video progress bar thing at the bottom, it says invading Afghanistan is going to be a great idea. Def gonna make things better. Def obviously, sure, definitely, but yeah, okay. Most people already know Most people know. Yeah, Brezhnev made the worst decision he could make ever. The worst decision. Like, okay, so the Communist Party of Afghanistan had overthrown the monarch. Okay, Afghanistan was complicated about that time. The Communist Party didn't overthrow the monarchy. I caught myself there. I almost said that. I caught myself there. So the monarch was forced to abdicate. And then a new democratic republic was brought in. The Communist Party overthrew that republic, supported by the USSR, obviously, duh. But then, Islamist fighters began fighting against the communist government. And then Brezhnev decided to send in the Soviet troops. And the Soviet troops destroyed Soviet morale. Because they were horrible in Afghanistan. And I don't mean horrible by, like, they were committing atrocities and crap like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were. But no, they were horrible by, like, they were horrible at fighting. Like, and they could not fight the Islamist fighters because the Islamist fighters used guerrilla tactics. They would, like, in the mountain terrains, the Soviets failed to successfully eradicate the Islamist fighters, and with the U.S. backing those Islamist fighters, in the end, the Soviets would have to pull out. We'll get to the leader who pulled them out in a second here. But yeah. Okay, yep. And there's Gorbachev. Oh my god, okay, that is demonic. That is extremely demonic. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that. But, and also the picture, yeah, not good, Gorby. People in the West like to call him Gorby. It's actually a true thing. If you're not from the West, you wouldn't know. But yeah, people in the West like to call him Gorby. And then Danke is German for thank you, so yes, this is from somewhere in Germany. I'd say probably West Germany, maybe East Germany, I'm not sure. But yes, Gorbachev, obviously famous for firstly pulling the Soviet troops out of Afghanistan. Way too late, though. Way too late. They were in there from 79 to 89. He pulled them out in 89. Way too late. And then, obviously, he's famous for glasnost and perestroika, which are some of the few Russian words I can actually pronounce correctly. Which means openness and freedom. If I remember correctly. I don't know. Okay, whatever. And basically, yeah, he allowed some more democratic stuff. I mean, he still wanted to keep communist stuff, but, yeah. We'll just keep going. Yeah, no more Cold War, so no more Soviet Union. Yeah, he allowed the Eastern Bloc countries, so East Germany, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, and Albania. Well, actually, Yugoslavia was independent from the Soviet Union, but the Eastern Bloc countries, minus Yugoslavia, he allowed them to be more independent. This resulted in democratic elections in Poland, Hungary, Bulgaria, and Albania, and it resulted in revolutions in Czechoslovakia and Romania. Yeah, the one in Romania wasn't that fun, but no, I'm kidding. I'd never even been to Romania, but anyway, sorry if I actually been going crazy. It's after midnight, and I should probably definitely finish this video, but anyway, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, and then East Germany eventually reunified with the West in 1990. And then Yugoslavia, okay, we all know what happened with Yugoslavia, right? Yeah, we all know what happened. It's the Balkans. Stuff happens. Certain things, like the killing of ethnic groups and stuff like that, and the failure of the UN and NATO to do anything. Yeah, okay. We're just gonna ignore that. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, this isn't completely accurate. So the October coup, that happened in October of 1991. So 1991. was the year the Soviet Union dissolved, obviously. Now, the Soviet Union dissolved in December, on December 26th. I know that date by heart, okay? Okay, anyway. So, the Soviet Union dissolved on December 26th of that year. But the October coup happened in, well, as suggested by its name, well, October. Who would have guessed? So basically, the October coup was an aim by communist hardliners, basically just Stalinists, to overthrow Gorbachev and destroy the pro-democracy movements and pro-independence movements throughout the Soviet Union, and basically turn the country back towards mid 20th century Stalinist policies. They did not get far, because a rising politician, Boris Yeltsin, who would become the first president of the Russian Federation, pictured here obviously, in country ball form. These people are actually kind of funny in country ball form, not gonna lie. But anyway, he and his supporters, basically, they surrounded the White House in Moscow, which, yes, it's a thing. And the communist hardliners had to give in because Yeltsin had a tank with him, and also the Soviet military was extremely split. The Air Force was opposed to the coup. Most of the republics opposed it. I think the only ones who supported the coup were Belarus and Tajikistan, if I remember correctly. They're the only ones who accepted it. Even more countries declared independence from the Soviet Union during the coup, and yeah. But then in December, the Soviet Union dissolved officially on December 26th. Kazakhstan being the last country to declare independence, famously. And then, yeah. Then you get to Yeltsin, who was president from December 91, late December 91. If you wanted to say January 92, that's fine. Until December 99, when a different person took over. I'm trying so mad not to go on a rant right now, okay? I'm trying. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Do I have to explain anything here? I don't think I need to explain anything. We're just gonna move on. Alright, moving on. Alright. I'm too tired to do the Nazis invade Russia. Maybe I'll do that in the future. But I will do instead British Empire becomes Uncanny, which is basically the one the one we just watched, but with the British Empire. Oh crap! I just fast forwarded to the end accidentally. Sorry about that. All right. Here we are, 76-3. You can see. Okay. France got destroyed. France got pretty destroyed, both in Europe and in North America, and also in India and a bajillion other places. In the 7 Years' War, which actually lasted 9 years. What do we have to call this? Okay, war names from before the 1800s were so inaccurate. 7 Years' War, it lasted 9 years. 100 Years' War, it lasted more than 100. Anyway, let's start. So 7 Years' War, yeah, they got a ton. They got everything in the Ohio Valley. They got Quebec. They got everything up to the Mississippi, because French Louisiana became Spain. They also got Florida, which was previously Spain. Now Spain was allied with France. However, Spain wasn't destroyed like France, so they actually got land in North America instead of losing land. Yeah, that's 1700s politics for you. Anyway, okay. Don't have to explain this one. We all know RCT. Still going for Canada? Yeah, okay. Okay, that is a demonic Canada. I did not know Canada could be so creepy, but yeah, Canada, the Dominion of Canada. Did I say okay, I cannot speak right now. The Dominion of Canada. Yeah, that was. If you heard a weird sound, I just hit my mic. So, if you did not hear a weird sound, then I guess okay, whatever. Ignore what I just said. Anyway, the Dominion of Canada, yeah, it was formed in 1839. Self-government, pretty much. Just a sec. Anyway, so, yeah. Then you got the British Raj. You got the British Raj. They're basically, I mean, we all know that, India. So, yeah. I don't need to explain much for that one. So, yeah. Okay. Well, I had to take care of what I had to take care of on my phone, so. Alright, sorry about that. Alright. Yeah, definitely no operation or exploitation. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Moving on. Alright, so for the British First Division of Africa, you can see Spherical of Africa. Britain got a lot of land out of that. World Wars, that was fun. Yeah, I mean, no more tea. Yeah, tea comes from China and India. That's where Britain got it from. And then they got completely addicted to it and went crazy for it. Anyway, yes, Hong Kong hangover. And then Brexit. Yeah, okay. Anyway, that is that. So, that's the end of the video. Be sure to go subscribe to Mrs. Spherical. Also subscribe to my channel. Give this video a like if you like it. If you have suggestions for future videos, comment in the description. And thank you for watching.